Hello, it's April the 4th, 2022. And I've been noticing, and I'm sure you have too, since the beginning of this year, that we don't live in ordinary times anymore. In fact, I would say that we live in epic times, in mythic times, in magical times. And here in Canada, all kinds of strange things have been happening. And it feels like it's time for a good story, a time for a mythical, magical story for people living in Canada. People have come from all over the world who live in Canada and other places on this continent that we call Turtle Island. And so these images and this story started coming to me, so I wrote it down. I want to share it with you today. And it's called We Are the Seeds That Grew. The ancestors arrived. They arrived from the stars. They arrived from the seas. They arrived from within the earth. They arrived with the winds. The ancestors arrived with seeds. Seeds sewn into their cloaks. Seeds wrapped within the soft petals of their hearts. Seeds coiled within the luminous spiraling threads. Seeds embedded within their breath and words. The ancestors arrived with multitudes of seeds. Seeds of the eternally star-born. Seeds of liberation. Seeds of the freeborn. Seeds of unity. Seeds of peace. Seeds of hope. Seeds of renewal. Seeds of imagination. The ancestors planted the seeds. They planted the seeds in soil washed clean by the great floods of living waters. Soil carried from the depths of the great ocean. Soil carried up to the surface in the humble paws of muskrat. Soil spread by the animals upon the back of the ancient one, great grandmother turtle. The ancestor smiled. The stars glowed. The seas undulated. The earth sighed. The winds whispered. Turtle Island grew. The seeds burrowed themselves deep into the new earth, excited to begin growing. The ancestors said, "Wait, it is not yet time to grow." The seed said, "How long shall we wait?" "Until it is time to grow," said the ancestors. "But it is so dark here. How will we grow without light?" said the seeds. "You will become the light you need to grow," said the ancestors. "But how?" said the seeds. "Wait. You will know how to grow," said the ancestors. And so the seeds waited in the dark earth. The seeds waited and waited and waited. The seeds grew impatient. The seeds began to rumble, grumble, and shake. Some began to shout, "Enough! We will wait no longer. We must grow." Some cried out, "But we have no water. We have no light. But it's so dark and we're afraid." Some decided to wiggle up to the surface to find light and water. They did not return. Some withered. Mycelium came and transformed them into humus. Meanwhile, on the surface of Earth, invaders came. The ancestors fought for life. There were great battles of dark and light. Many died. Earth received the dead. Mycelium transformed them into humus. The grandmothers cried and watered earth with their tears. The earthworms created riverbeds within the soil. The grandmother's tears flowed deeper and deeper and deeper into earth. The grandmother's tears reached the seeds buried deepest in the earth. The grandmother's tears touched the hard outer coverings of the seeds. The grandmother's tears whispered prayers. We need you to grow now. Something miraculous happened. After eons and eons and eons of waiting, the seeds remembered how to grow. The seeds that had waited deep in the earth were different. These seeds were dissidents. These seeds did not grow upwards into individual sprouts. They could not. The surface earth had been pounded by the invaders and the wars. The surface earth was too hard, too dense for tender sprouts to push through. Something magical happened. The seeds began to grow underground. They grew together, their tender rootlets reaching towards each other. When their little tiny tender rootlets touched, sparks of joy ignited. They glowed bioluminescence. The seeds remembered how to generate their own light together. The seeds became roots and remembered how to sing the songs of creation, songs of praise, songs of love. The earth opened her heart and living waters began to flow. The ancestors laughed, the grandmother smiled, the stars emanated delight, the earth generated elements, the seas rolled with shoals of fish, the winds fluttered feathered wings and twirled with glee. Something wondrous happened. The seeds grew together as a great mass of strong roots, roots reaching as far and wide as Turtle Island, roots that knew how to share and transport nutrients, roots that created great riverbeds deep inside the earth, riverbeds for living waters to flow and become pure aquifers. Then a great tree trunk began to grow horizontally beneath the surface, a tree trunk as long as Turtle Island. And from the great tree trunk, branches sprang forth, strong branches that reached under the earth to every shore of Turtle Island. Buds began to form on the branches, millions and millions and millions of buds, buds waiting underground, waiting to burst with new life. But it was still winter on the surface of Earth. Something entirely unexpected happened. A great rumble began, a great rumble that shook loose the densely compacted earth, a rumble that crumbled the concrete pavement that had covered the great back of Grandmother Turtle, a great stampede of rolling wheels, honking horns, stomping feet, and cheering voices. The roots mobilized, the great tree trunk shuddered, the branches trembled, the buds sighed with relief. Something miraculously, magically, wondrously, tremendously surprising happened. After the longest winter in eons, spring returned. Great-grandmother Turtle poked out her head. Turtle Island heaved and cleaved. The seeds planted all those long eons ago rose up out of the earth together as a great mother tree, a tree of new life, bearing shining leaves of every shape, size, and color. Who imagined that could happen? The ancestors roared. The stars exploded into dazzling displays of light. The earth sighed and expanded. The seas shimmered with golden light. The winds blew the invaders back to where they came from. The grandfathers laid down their war weapons. The grandmothers took the free hands of the grandfathers and danced. We are the seeds that grew. We are the leaf people. We learn to grow in adversity. Together we grow as one great mother tree, our roots firmly planted in peace, love, and unity. We stand as the ancestor of a new humanity. Thank you for listening.